and markedly expressed to meet physiological demands based on the number of molecules of substance that it's going to work on. So in other words, if there's a virus in your body, this will be produced. COX-2. That enzyme will come out and start to function. So a perfect example, you see here, it says COX-1, COX-1 and 2, and COX-1 and 2. So COX-1 is only COX-1 here. It says the gastric protect mucus secretion, bicarbonate, mucosal blood flow, and then it tells you over here that I don't know, I just work on it once. Okay. Anyway, shows you there the kidney. So it helps the COX-1 and the COX-2 works with the kidney. So both of them work simultaneously. But the COX-1 itself always working, always. And the COX-2 must only come out if you need help. Bear that in mind. COX-1 work all the time. Graveyard shift, 24 hours. It's like Walmart. It doesn't close. But COX-2 must only come out every now and then. It's like the Sabbath. You look forward to it because you know you're going to get rest or you're going to get victory over something. So it helps you to fight off infection. But the problem is, it's the reverse we're having. This is always out still, but you have this one joining him when he's not supposed to. He's overworked. And the reason he's overworked is because of the food that we are eating. So if you're overworked, you're creating inflammation. And you're causing the COX-2 to also overwork because you are overworked. If you overeat, you cause inflammation. And you're causing the COX-2 to overwork because you are overeating. So whatever you do, it's going to reflect within. You see the relation? Okay. As you can see from the diagram, both COX-1 and COX-2 control the production of prostaglandin, other enzyme basically, which in turn mediate their effects on the immune system, the central nervous system, the stomach, the kidneys, the blood vessels, the platelets found in our blood, which we need for blood clotting. So you saw it in the diagram just now, right? So it says, please keep in mind that this presentation is about the therapeutic benefit of plant-based omega-3s. So not by a long shot am I saying, I leave it on, saying that other fatty acids like the medium-chain fatty acid found in coconut and palm oil does not have a role to play in the scheme of preventing or recovering from chronic inflammatory disease. On the contrary, they do. So even though I'm not talking about coconut oil or palm oil or some other polyunsaturated oil, they have their purpose. Because coconut oil is one of the most amazing oil in the entire world.
Amen to that. That's true.
So even though I'm not talking about it, this presentation is not about coconut oil, it's about omega-3. Alright? So, whose report will you believe? We read Isaiah chapter 53 verse 1. Whose report will you believe? The media, the internet, the television, the radio, the magazines, the newspaper, because every day they come up with something new. And they tell you something different. 1 minute they said, oh, don't drink red wine because it's going to kill you. Oh, drink it, it's good for you. I'm tired to pick up paper. Right now at our home we have TV but we don't watch it. I'm tired, don't get me wrong, news is good because it helps you to keep up to date what's happening in the world. But they keep changing. They vacillate like a summer breeze. I can't keep up with them. Insidious men that control the media will tell you that only about 1% of the dietary alpha-linolic fatty acid is converted to EPA and a negligible amount is turned into DHA. So they try to get you to buy the fish oil, which I say is good, don't get me wrong. But they try to discourage you from using the plant-based one because they're saying that only 1%, if you use a plant-based to to get it to convert to EPA and DHA, it's not going to convert enough. Only 1% of it will convert. And so they say, come and buy our fish oil. And people listen. Take for example, what was I going to say? Slip me. Come on. The above statement is not true. This only happens in individuals who consume a diet high in omega-6. So if the diet is high in omega-6, remember I showed you the diagram, there's a competition going on inside the body. If the diet is high in omega-6, what is going to happen? The omega-6 is going to always be the one winning to combine with the enzyme that converts into inflammatory. But if it's high in omega-3, the omega-3 is the one who's going to always winning to compete, to convert into pro-inflammatory. And if you have, when you say 3 to 1, it means that you must have 3 times more omega-6 than omega-1. That is a good balance, they say, or 2 to 1. And some people say 4 to 1. And then somebody else will come out and say 5 to 1, or 5 to 2. I'm not in the lottery business, so I don't know. But the whole point is, just put these in your food, and you will benefit from them. Okay, so it says, the above statement is not true. And it says, this only happens in the diet is consume omega-6 micronutrients like protein, especially the protein from animal-based saturated fats and trans fatty acids. And you see the food groups that are there. It says, however, if one eats a sensible diet of fresh fruits, nuts, seeds, whole grains, legumes, and vegetables, and culinary herbs prepared in the simplest of way, the increased dietary micronutrients. So macronutrients are the protein, the fats, and the carbohydrates. Micronutrients are the vitamins, the vitamin A, the vitamin C, the vitamin E, and the parts, vitamin B6, the B3, the D from the sunshine, or if you get the supplement itself, and then the phytochemicals, the soy flavonoid like the genistein and daidzein, and the thymoquinone from the black seed oil or from the black seed powder itself, and the curcumin from the turmeric. And they will tell you, oh, you don't buy the turmeric because it's not as potent as getting the extract. Well, where the extract come from? From the turmeric. They want you to buy what they take, just a molecule, and extract it and leave the rest. Because a plant might have 5,000 molecules in it, and they do their research on only 3. And they say these are the most potent chemicals in this plant, and they've not looked at the rest. But they draw their conclusion already. And they tell you, buy that plant, but don't buy the molecules, but don't buy the plant. So it says, where am I? Thymoquinone and minerals, calcium, iron, zinc, selenium, potassium, magnesium, along with the right ratio of omega-6 to omega-3, it will help to lower the pro-inflammatory AA eicosanoids in the body and inhibit the overproduction of COX-2 enzymes. So all that's written up there can help to reduce that, which is involved in the induction of inflammatory scenarios in the body without inhibiting the production of COX-1 enzyme, which maintains the baseline levels and the adaptive response. If you notice, there's a lot of talking in this one, isn't it? And the reason because that's my school paper. So I had to write, to keep up with them stuff. But you get the picture basically. What to expect when you eat plant-based food? And we get into the core of it. Let me repeat. The chemical properties in our food are more than able to prevent or treat any inflammatory and autoimmune disease. However, it is vital we learn that unless one provides the body with the right proportion of dietary linoleic acid and alpha-linoleic acid, phytochemicals, and sufficient micronutrients, one will lack the foundation necessary to synthesize other fatty acids and activate endogenous antioxidant. Endogenous means what's inside. Now, think about it. Raise your hands if you're taking a B12. Come on, put them high. Put them high. Raise your hand if you're taking a B12. Come on, anybody else? All right. Why are you taking a B12?
Energy.
And they tell you that you need a B12?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially vegetarian.
No.
And they say if you don't eat meat, you don't get.
And they tell you if you don't eat meat, you don't get B12. Correct?
Yeah.
Now, there's no plant-based food with B12. God make a mistake, Pastor.
No.
There is no question in the later time, my dear sister. There is no comments as well. There is no B12 in any plant. So therefore, God made a mistake.
No, you don't need them.
No, you didn't.
We do need B12,
The B part.
but there is none in our food. So where is it? It's in your body. It's in the gut. Now, the only reason an individual becomes deficient in B12 is because they might have what is known as leaky gut syndrome. And leaky gut syndrome, that means there is an imbalance in the microbiome within the body, which is the bacteria. You have I'm just using the term for understanding's sake. Good bacteria and the pathogenic bacteria. If the pathogenic bacteria proliferate, the B12 is a good bacteria, along with the Buffer-Disius and the Alpha-Disius and all the Greek names that they use. So it kills them out. It takes, and the bad one take over, and that's why you become deficient. So if you have to be taking a B12, that means you have leaky gut, and then you should address that real quickly, because it can lead to serious illnesses in the long run. Right, where am I? The chemical properties in our food are more than ever. I said that earlier. I said that earlier. This is what I'm saying in layman terms. So in plain language, we need to eliminate coffee. Let me see Adventists who drink coffee.
I'm on it.
You have a lot of Adventists who drink coffee.
Me, I drink
I have a lot of Adventists who drink coffee. A lot of Adventists who use other stuff with caffeine in it.
Yeah.
It be those booster juice, the Red Bulls that gives you wings. You have Adventists who use them. The caffeinated tea, all fresh foods work. So he says, this is what I'm saying in layman terms. We need to eliminate coffee, caffeinated tea, and all fresh foods where possible. Notice what I say? Where what? Possible. Because it's not possible for you know what? I'm so glad that God is God. And it's not me. Because God is merciful. And God, when God judges Pastor, He weighs every situation. He says, the Bible says, this man and that man was born there. But God is saying, some people are given certain privileges and some are not. And so the ones who are given certain privileges are going to judge them based on the privileges that they are given. And the ones who did not get those privileges are going to base. And so God looked and weighs and He said, okay, according to the knowledge that he had and the privilege that he had, he lived faithfully. So if he couldn't afford all those vegetable food that he should afford, God weighs him and said, he done faithful in God's eyes. So what you see here, where possible, if it is not possible to remove all flesh food because of financial constraint or some other difficulty that does not allow one to procure the ground provision, then one should do his or her best by cutting out all red meats and poultry and use fewer fish. What did I say? All red meats, that's the starting point. Every red meat, remove them from your diet. And poultry. And use fewer fish. And avoid polyunsaturated omega-6 rich oils, such as hydrogenated soybean and corn oil, or the other one that's called canola. And use less vegetable oil to prepare food and more cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil for dressing and extra virgin coconut oil for cooking, or the red palm oil for cooking. So if you're going to cook, red palm oil or coconut oil, because the heating point, it doesn't change the molecule so quickly, and it doesn't break down easily. Vegetable oils, when you cook with it, it becomes carcinogenic. Once the molecules change, carcinogenic. So when you go to the McDonald's, Notice my look, when you go to the McDonald's and we get the chips, I'm guilty, we are guilty in some way or another. But I don't go there myself, but sometimes evil feed me. But the point I'm making is, start making some drastic changes. That area, if you start making those changes, you will see difference, believe me. Just by removing how you prepare your food. In the Chinese, when they prepare, you notice how they're slim? Most of them. When they cook their chicken, they boil the chicken first.
Yeah, my mom used to do
I work in Chinese restaurants, so I know. They boil the chicken first. And then they stop and put it aside in the freezer. And when you order, they take it out and quickly stir fry. That's why you can get your food so quickly. But the chicken is boiled first, that means it gets rid of most of the fat. Right. Next. Furthermore, one must get rid of all dietary products, pickled foods, spiced foods, and fried foods, hydrogenated and partially hydrogenated margarine, and cut off refined baked goods, sugar, and eating between meals to reduce what is called advanced glycation end product. You might not know what it is, but I'll explain to you and show you the diagram. So that's an immune cell. When you eat sugar, and you have a lot of sugar circulating in your blood, or if you're diabetic, and you have a lot of sugar circulating in your blood, what you find, those sugar latch onto a protein, change into a different chemical. The immune cells come around and see them as strange. These are antigens, and they latch onto them and say, hey, we got some intruders. So it sees them as an intruder, and then inflammation. So that is why you will read in consistent diet food, sugar is harmful. A low dietary intake in the less inflammatory fatty acids, especially omega-3 fatty acids, and a diet high in animal protein make the body acidic and undermines the epigenetics of the body without necessarily altering the genetic coding within the DNA, of billions of the DNA base pairs in our cells that have a nucleus containing all of the genetic information, need to build and repair. Yes, circulation of excess unwanted chemical substances like ammonia, uric acid, aspartame, methanol, formaldehyde, alcohol within our body affect our body biological mechanism. It's called, because that's just rhetorics. So what do you have here now? Epigenetics mechanism. Now, if you say you can't do nothing to help yourself, you're in danger. Because what you see here, we know we live in a sinful world. But this chart shows you that you have 51% control. You know, if you have a company, let's say Donna, you and I start a company, and I have 61%. I can sell, and you can get into trouble. True? You can sell my portion, and you get into trouble. But as long as I maintain 51%, I am in charge. Isn't that true in business?
Yes.
So as long as I maintain 51%, I am in charge. So what you see here, health care, that is the doctors, 10%, environment, 19%, human biology, 20%. So you can't say I'm a mother cause. You're predisposed, but it doesn't have to. My mother have cancer, so we go get cancer. You have 51% control over that. So the onus is on you. Again, this is a very long because it's very in detail. What to do? So let me just jump straight to what to do. Skip, because I know time is. What to do? Here's what to do. Breakfast. Breakfast must be like a king, lunch like a queen, supper like a pauper, or no supper at all. So you would start off with breakfast. 3 to 5 servings of fruit. It could be 3 or 5 different types of fruit. You got examples there? That's a perfect example of breakfast. Because breakfast is called break fast for a reason. You're breaking a fast. And if you're breaking a fast, that means you need energy to face the day. These are called carbohydrates. Cereal, whole grain cereal. And whole grain cereal, when I say whole grain, I'm not talking the cornflakes. This is one of the best cereals in the world. It's called Jordan. It's from England. And it's muesli with all the different types of grains. Jam-packed in it. With all the different types of nuts and seeds. Jam-packed in it. You have similar versions of this here. Scroll, get an example. For example, whole grain cereal, 40 gram oats or other low sugar cereals sprinkled with 1 handful of raw walnuts or a 1/4 cup of mixed seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, hemp seeds, bread, the Ezekiel bread and the different types of bread. You make it at home, or if you can purchase from a reputable company that bakes very well. And your homemade, say it again? No, I'm saying, I'm skipping that out. It's for you to look at. You have your homemade jams that you make yourself. Then lunch, salad or cooked meal, vegetables. So here's an example of what it should be like. Half of your plate should be vegetables, as in the green leafy vegetables, and the other half divided into 1/4, which you have carbohydrates and your protein. And you give you an example going down there, showing you. Scroll. I try not to chop the corn again because I'm lost. I don't know what's genetic from what's not genetic. So I just leave it all together. Then they show you soya. For those who trust the GM-free soya, you can use them. But if not, there are loads of beans you can use. And remember, this is just a transitional. So even though I don't eat meat, or I don't eat any dairy product at all, I'm a vegan, what you call it a vegan, in the food sense. Because vegan in England is completely different. They don't wear nothing with leather, they don't touch anything that have animal. And probably the same here? Okay. So I'm not that crazy. People have to wear leather. Leather shows strong.
And a belt. Belt. Keep your hands up.
So that's an example of breakfast and lunch. So, but food is just one part of the thing. Keep scrolling. Because I want you to get the message. Keep scrolling. Right, worship. That's what you start today with. Not food. Man does not live by
bread alone.
I can go days without food and I might die of starvation. But if I worship God, I will live again.
Amen.
But if I eat all I want and all I can get and worship not, I'm going to die. So you eat to live, don't live to eat. So you worship. So you worship. So the first thing you start there with, worship. Worship God. Give to God what is His. Yourself, because you belong to Him by creation. I call it twice owned. Creation and redemption. Next, temperance. Moderation or abstinence is an indispensable requirement for anyone truly to recover from any illness and enjoy life. For it saves us from the path of ruefulness. However, temperance is not just about eating and drinking. So, he says, dear reader, as you strive for the mastery, practice temperance in all things. Let your habits of self-denial be coupled with earnestness of purpose, diligence, and steadfastness. To do this, pray and ask God for wisdom to help you, to strengthen. Exercise. And this is a long one, and very important. Once exercise, keeps going. So nature has gainfully employed exercise to help in the fight against infection, mental stress, physical fatigue, loss of strength and energy. Exercise, even in moderation, will enhance our energy and reduce inflammation and mental tension. When we exercise, the adrenal secretes a rush of hormone neuroepinephrine, which is also released at synapses, gap between the nerve cells, and cause the brain to deal with stress and often leads to depression and anxiety. The effect will be 10 times fold if you add to that prayer, meditation, and Bible study, and a simple diet. So moderate exercise, scroll. This is what happens inside the cell. This is when you exercise. So I'm going to tell you what's coming down at the bottom, just to save time. So this is the cell. This is what is called a mitochondria. The mitochondria is in, let's say you have about 10 mitochondria in each cell. The mitochondria is what produces energy in each cell that you can have energy. So you have some disease that the person might lack of energy, Parkinson's, MS, and so forth. But that means that mitochondria is under trouble. So you have cellular respiration. Cellular respiration is what the body actually uses. So when oxygen goes into the cell, goes into here, mixes with other little things, creates the energy, what is called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and produces oxygen. But as a rogue cell, like a cancer cell, use anaerobic respiration, which is harmful. You use sugar to breathe and to survive. So scroll again. So scroll, keep going. So what you find, let me explain. What happened, I think I explained in class in one of the presentation. Each time you exercise, your body creates 36 units of energy each time you exercise. When you do not exercise, your body only creates 2 units of energy. See the trouble you put yourself in? So when you exercise, you get more energy. Don't exercise, less energy. What is exercise? Just normal walking for a period of time. Getting the heart rate to change. That's exercise. You don't have to go to the gym and start and be fast. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go lifting the weights to look like Hulk. You don't have to do that. Just, what did you see Jesus do? Jesus walked everywhere. One time, never take up the Bible and say Jesus did anything else. Rather than that, that's the only time. Growing up, he was always carpenter, using his hands. And then when he got older, he walked everywhere. Carry on. Next. Keep going, sir. Water. Now, water is important. Nobody can live without water. You can go without food for days. Water less, because the body needs it. Now, very simple. I explained in passing already. You check your body weight by dividing by 16, and you get exactly how much 8-ounce glass of water you, the individual, should drink. Check your body weight, divide it by 16, and you get exactly how much glass of water you, the individual, should be drinking. Water plays a fantastic role. There's no better detoxifier than water. So you can take all the herbs you want. If water is not present to help the herb to function, nothing's going to happen. Carry on. And how, as a matter of fact, how you use the water. Drink in between meals. You always wait an hour or hour and a half before you, and then you drink on the hour. Alright? So rather than snacking between meals. And did you know that a lot of times when we think that we are hungry, we are actually thirsty? So we misinterpret thirst for hunger. So try it. When you just eat and you feel hungry, just drink some water and you see the difference. Rest. Oh my goodness. I don't think we have enough time for explaining this. But this is very, very important. The best, besides the Sabbath, sleep is the best rest designed by God to aid in the development of sound mind and sound body. The mind and the body is closely related. You will see that in one of the presentations. Allow me to explain. You have this called ghrelin, and I might just stop on this part. You have this called ghrelin, right? Ghrelin is a peptide hormone that has the ability to make you feel hungry when there is an increased level of to make you feel hungry when there is an increased level, or suppress your appetite when there is a decreased level. It is found in various places in the body, but in greater concentration in the endocrine cells, in the GI, in the gut basically. Alright, scroll a little bit please. Right, in the gut, and in the pancreas, in the islet of Langerhans. Along with stimulating and suppressing our appetite, one of its major roles is to regulate glucose homeostasis. Now, if a person does not get sufficient amount of sleep at night, the lack of sleep causes an increased secretion of this hormone, and its effect on the body work contrary to the interest of their overall well-being. In other words, lack of sleep put the body in an unfavorable endogenic environmental condition on a cellular level, as it causes constant increase in ghrelin, which inhibit insulin secretion. Thus you get what?
Diabetes.
Say it again?
Diabetes.
So you see how important sleep is? Lack of sleep can cause you to get diabetes. Lack of sleep. I'm not saying it's the only cause. It's one of. Scroll again. Keep scrolling. Right. Now due to the alright, keep scrolling, because I'll go to the other hormone. Ready? Keep scrolling please. Right, etymology word. Alright, now the next one is leptin. And it's funny, you see, I love looking at the word. The word leptin derives from a Greek word called leptos, which means thin. So, it is no surprise that leptin is the protein hormone produced by adipose tissues or fat cells to regulate the storage of fat. In various research, it is well documented that habitual lack of sleep below 6 to 8 hours at night retards the production of leptin and increases a person's body mass index. So lack of sleep can make you do what? So important sleep is? God knows what He's doing here. Again, my brother, Marvin. Hold on, go. What's that? Trust in God. No, trust in God. Because we have turned away from the simple natural provisions of God for the mere gratification of taste, and have perverted our appetite by indulging in rich repasts that consist largely of red meat such as beef, pork, lamb. What's your Adventist eat pork? I'm Adventist who own out from. Hold on. We shouldn't be surprised. Didn't you see it in the Bible? Yeah. Send the pigs in the thing. The devil's a pig. So why are we surprised? It's nothing. Anything you see in the Bible is happening today. Anything you see happening in Israel, in the church, happening today.
Yes.
So we shouldn't be surprised. So, because we're doing these things, we get diseases like diabetes, arthritis, autism, MS, cancer, and the list goes on. However, I don't want to leave anybody in this game. The moment we turn to God and say, like the woman who held on to the hem of his garment, I yield